Well, here's a quote. "The only thing standing between the people of Gaza and a ceasefire is Hamas." And that's the word from U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. He also says Israel's latest proposal is extraordinarily generous.
While an agreement would put an invasion of Rafah on hold, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is promising to invade the last Hamas stronghold with or without a deal. CBN's Chris Mitchell reports from Jerusalem.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is scheduled to arrive in Israel Tuesday on the second leg of his Middle East trip. In Saudi Arabia on Monday, Blinken put the burden on Hamas to accept what he says is an extraordinary offer by Israel.
Hamas has before it a proposal that is extraordinarily generous on the part of Israel. And in this moment, the only thing standing between the people of Gaza and a ceasefire is Hamas.
Hamas says it's reviewing the proposal. While a ceasefire would put an invasion of Rafah on hold, Netanyahu says Israel will invade with or without a deal. Rafah is key since it holds the last remaining Hamas battalions, their top leaders, and the strategic tunnels on the Egyptian border. Those tunnels are the lifeline where Hamas gets resupplied with arms and weapons. Even more important to Israel, it's believed that most, if not all, of the hostages are held in Rafah. While Blinken says the U.S. won't support a major military operation in Rafah unless Israel guarantees the safety of civilians in the city, one Israeli journalist says it remains a high priority.
Tell you what the public opinion in Israel believes in. It believes in full victory over Hamas. You see it in each and every poll. The most persuasive thing for Netanyahu to do as a politician is to defeat Hamas.
Israel is also waiting to see if the International Criminal Court will issue arrest warrants for Prime Minister Netanyahu and other top Israeli military and political leaders for war crimes. International legal expert Andrew Tucker told CBN News the ICC move seems designed to pressure Israel at this time.
And to come out right now with an announcement, which has apparently been leaked, but they've informed Israeli leaders, or Israeli leaders have come to the knowledge that this is likely, I think is highly problematic. It's stigmatizing Israel, it's criminalizing Israeli leaders.
The ICC is apparently also investigating Hamas for war crimes. In the U.S. at Columbia University, demonstrators defied another deadline to leave, and some have now taken over a university building. University officials say students who refuse to leave will be suspended. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
If you want to help the civilians in Gaza, put the pressure on Hamas. It should never be on Israel. And standing with Israel is absolutely the way to go here. Hamas is the problem, and this is incredible that you would see protests on our campuses where people say we are Hamas and that we stand with them and we support them in their effort to drive Israel into the sea. And in that, they use terms that somehow Israel is engaged in war crimes, or Israel is engaged in an apartheid state, or Israel is engaged in genocide. That's exactly what Hamas is doing. If you want to look at an apartheid state, look at Gaza. You can't be Jewish and walk the streets there. If you want to look at genocide, look at Hamas. They're the ones calling for Israel to be driven into the sea. That means every single Jew in Israel should be killed. You look at these claims, and truth has been stood on its head. We can't have this. This should never be. Israel should be able to be secure within its own borders, free from attack, free from this kind of violence. That won't happen until Hamas is